But today we're going to look at converting the business. So we'll start off with one question as we typically do. If you were to get a call right now from your best friend or from your warmest lead saying, come and list my house, do you know, and I mean legitimately know, all the steps that you're going to take and what you're going to say in the listing presentation? And this is one of those those opportunities for you to, be honest with yourself. Do you have that confidence that if you were to hop into the car right now, get in front of a client, you'd have the confidence? Not saying you would get it or not get it, but would you have the confidence that you would know what to say? So if you were, so drop it in the chat, yes or no. Again, no judgment here. This is more for a place where we can grow together. If you were asked to go and list a house, hop into the car right now and have a conversation with the homeowner, do you have the confidence that you would know what to say? So I'll give you a couple of minutes. We have a few no's, we have a few yes, we have a few somewhat, we have a few 100%. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Regardless of where you are, this is a place where we're going to grow together. One of the things that there's many things that we could talk about conversion. Again, it's more about what to say, how to say, when to say it, type of a talk. But I want to hone in on something that if you focus on this particular part of your presentation or make this your entire presentation, you have a very high likelihood that you're going to get hired for the job. And that is having a detailed marketing plan. So our goal today is to have a detailed marketing plan by the time we get through with our session today. How many of you have a marketing plan altogether? It doesn't have to be written down, but how many of you have a marketing plan altogether that you're going to follow as soon as you get that listing? We have a lot of head nods. That's good. And for those of you that don't, that's okay too. So what's included in that? What are you doing to market that property? I have a feeling I can guess all of them, but what are you going to do to market that property? You can drop it in the chat. Feel free to do so. What are some elements that you're going to do to sell that listing that you now have? We have video in the house. I'm going to guess some of you are going to say MLS. There we go. MLS. We have Facebook groups, creative work in social media. All right. So for the social media folks, what does that mean? Does that mean a video on Facebook? Does that mean a Instagram reel on Instagram? Does that mean a TikTok video of a property tour? There's many different things that you can do there. We have some ads, Facebook ads, video, Instagram, paid ads. Awesome. So what's important here, and the reason that I'm asking this question in this particular way, is that you and I know that a bulk of the work that most agents do is put it on the MLS and wait. I call those the MLS and wait agents. Now, in the previous market that we're coming from, MLS and wait agents did very well. That was it. That was all you had to do. But the market that we're getting into and will be in for a little bit, the MLS and wait agents are going to have a heck of a time in 6 months when a lot of the contracts have expired for them, in a year when the house hasn't sold. So as we're talking about conversion strategy, as we're talking about how to convert more listings, if you focus on your marketing plan, there's several benefits. One, you're going to have a standard operating procedure for you and your crew as you grow, as you scale. We'll talk about scaling next week, but you'll have at least clarity for yourself if you have a marketing plan. So as soon as I get the listing on Main Street, the listing on Elm Street, the listing on Bird Street, the listing on wherever, I know that my next step is X. My step beyond that is Y. The next step is Z, right? So for me, I have that comfort that I know what to do. So if you take nothing else in terms of, I will create this marketing plan, but if you take no other benefit from it, just understand that you get clarity, and that's a win right there. So you having a clear blueprint on what you're going to use with every single listing is going to help you not only for yourself, but as you grow and introduce. A lot of you have mentioned, because I speak with a good amount of you already, that have spoken to me personally about virtual assistants. and wanting to work with virtual assistants. Well, virtual assistants are not unicorns. Virtual assistants do not know what to do. You have to instruct them how to do it. A good friend of mine that's a mega team leader here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They sell about 500 homes. He spends about $5,000 to $6,000 on VAs alone. And when we had coffee, it's been a while, couple of months ago, when we had coffee several months ago, he was talking about how virtual assistants didn't work, yet he was paying all that money every single month. Well, when I asked him about the standard operating procedures, like how do you train them? How do they know what to do? It's like, well, I don't. I just expected them to know that. And I know it sounds silly, and someone that's selling hundreds of homes every single month, but his name is Nick. I won't say his last name. Several of you probably know him. But he was spending all that money, but just was not training them in what to do. So as you're growing, you having that SOP, that standard operating procedure, is so helpful for, again, clarity for you, but also for the virtual assistants that you bring on, or anyone else that you bring on. If you have a buyer's agent, if you have a listing agent, whomever, they're going to be able to help you out. So you don't have to focus on that day in and day out. Does that make sense? So that's first and foremost. Now, to give you some examples of what that looks like in terms of application and your listing appointment, as you're having conversation with these homeowners, letting them know that you're not an MLS and wait type of agent is going to help you out a ton. It's going to help you out so much, because what the homeowner sees is that percentage that you're going to charge them. And if you can't substantiate outside of, I'm the greatest real estate agent that ever lived, then you're in trouble if you can't substantiate that. So if at the end of the conversation, it comes down to the commission that you're charging, and that's the sticking point, then that means that you just didn't articulate your value, right? So at the end of the day, if it's, I want 6%, I want 5.5%, I want 5%, I want 4%. If there's a lot of that conversation going on, it's that you were not able to elaborate, and you were not able to convey your value to them. So by you, again, making this a focal part of your conversation, it's going to be critical, especially for you newer agents, that you can't hang your hat on previous work done, right? So if this is your first listing, if this is your second listing, your third listing, well, when someone else like a Ian Flanagan walks through the door, a Jaime Resendez walks through the door, like folks that have listed homes a ton, then you're in trouble, right? So by you having at least this marketing plan, hey, I'm getting, this is what I would do. So some of the things that you can incorporate in your conversation with with a homeowner, is letting them know that you've already reached out preemptively to some buyers that are looking for a home similar to this. I didn't give them the address. I just wanted to reach out to my home buyers and preemptively share your home's details. Again, I didn't share the address, right? So letting them know that you've already been working, and that you weren't just waiting to get something signed before you started to work for them. There's that micro commitment from you, and there's going to be that reciprocity by them. They're going to feel a little bit more obligated now that you've put in some work outside of showing up in their living room, right? So that's one of those things that you can drop in conversation as you're going through the listing appointment. You can also share with them that I've already preemptively reached out to my real estate agent network. So my network of real estate agents. Now that could mean you talking to one individual, one realtor. That's it. That could mean you asking for support on your CMA from your broker. That counts, right? So just doing these minor things that seem so minor are going to help you out so much as you're going through your presentation, right? And then when you start getting into the more molecular, well, you can let them know that, of course, you're going to put it on the MLS so it gets syndicated into millions of other websites for the maximum exposure. But I'm not an MLS and wait type of an agent, Becky. I'm also a very proactive marketer. In fact, I have one of the Well, I was about to go into my script, so I won't share that one. Anyway, so I'll bypass my particular script there. But when it comes to the additional things that you do, some of you mentioned that you run Facebook ads. I'm very effective at running Facebook ads and putting properties in front of ready, willing, and able buyers. I'm very effective at that. So that's exactly what I'm going to do with your home. I'm also very effective at video. I'm going to put your home on YouTube. I'm going to put your home on Instagram. I'm going to put your home on, and don't think that this is just me putting a video with elevator music on there. No, I have a full production team that helps me with this, that I'm going to be able to execute on my marketing plan as I'm telling you. So this is not just a and me type of a value add to you. This is actual quality. So it's not just any type of video. I'm going to get your video. I'm going to get your home seen, because the more eyeballs that we have, the more offers we're going to receive, and the happier we're going to be. Right. So you can get very molecular if you want, but when I said a full video production team, what does that mean? That means that you could get some support from Fiverr. That means that you could get a video. I know some of you are here through Agently. That means that you leverage Agently for the short form video that is provided there, and the script that's provided there for you as well, that you can execute on video making very, very, very easily. Right. So there's a lot of different things that you can say. There's a lot of different things that you can go into. We're not going to get into the whole sharing everything, but if you lean in on key components that will separate you from your competition, the other people that walk through that door, you're going to have a leg up. Right. So one of the things that you'll typically hear from a trained homeowner that has done this before or has been doing some research is, what are you going to do to get my home sold? That's a question that will be asked of you. And if you can't answer that, then you're in trouble. Because you may have been fantastic all the way through, but when they drop that one-liner on you, which is actually what I teach homeowners to ask, then you're in trouble. Right? So just having a long story short, the best thing that you could do from going into the listing appointment and being different and having an actual chance of closing the business is having a marketing plan created. If you can put it on paper, great. Just send it into Fiverr, have somebody design it like A, B, C, D. This is all what's going to happen with your home. That's perfect. You don't have to do it that way. I'm just giving you a very effective way. For $10, you're going to increase your value proposition tenfold, because that's what it's going to take for them to design that. You just write down what you plan to do, again, for clarity for yourself, to help you with scaling and growing, and to also make this a visual for homeowners so they know what path they're going to go down now. The moment that they sign with you, here's what happens. Well, it's going to go, of course, it's going to go on the MLS so it gets syndicated. After that, I'm going to make sure that I do a property blast to the 20,000 agents here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. There's a lot, you have that service in front of you. There's a lot of third parties that do that. They'll do email blasts for other, for you to email all of the agents on the MLS. There's companies that do that. After that happens, or as that's happening, I'm going to launch some Facebook ads. I'm going to run what's called a coming soon ad. And then I'm going to run what's called a just listed ad. And then I'm going to run what's called a just sold ad. So you're going to have a lot of opportunity to show that home, really leverage it for your business altogether. And of course, I'm going to be sharing it with my social media community, which consists of, and then if you have a sizable social media following, you can drop in some numbers and start flexing that way if you would like. Or if you don't have that many numbers, then leverage based off of views. So even if you don't have that many views, then leverage it based off of impressions. So there's ways to kind of downscale from the impressiveness. But as you start going, you're going to find that at some point, you're not going to need to flex on impressions. You'd be able to flex on number of homes sold, the amount of hits that you get on your ads or videos and things of that nature. So marketing plans, super important. Being able to convey the marketing plan to your homeowner is super important. And just making yourself stand out in the homeowner's eyes, that if I let this agent walk out the door, my home's not going to be seen. I'm not going to get as much as I want. And this home is going to sit on the market for a while. That's the impression we want to leave them with.